inflicting pain upon the condemned and spilling their blood for everyone to see, public tortures could inadvertently expose that person's humanity. According to Foucault, in some instances, it would evoke feelings of sympathy and pity from the audience, who would rally behind the condemned and speak out against the monarchies. Yet, less than 100 years later, Foucault observes criminals were sitting in prisons. The only reason public torture was phased out of practice, he argues, was because prisons made it easier for sovereigns and later governments to consolidate their control over the people. Torture was messy. Prisons were orderly, centralized, and hidden from public view. And so it was easier to eliminate that unpredictable element of humanity. Prisons were designed to strip the condemned of their humanity, so there would be no sympathy for them. The reason Foucault doesn't see prisons as any more humane than public torture is...
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. The purpose is not to strip your humanity from you. The purpose is to take people who are not engaging in society in a civilized manner off the streets and put them somewhere as a punishment. 1. 2, they're supposed to hold you so that you can, until you go to court, so that you don't run away while we're waiting for you to get sentenced. And 3, they're meant to be what do you call it? Like a corrections thing, where it is a way for you to sit and think about what you've done wrong. And that goes back to number 1, where you're being punished and you're hopefully being de-incentivized. Want to do a live interview on your past? Yeah, sure. I'm down. Did anyone have sympathy for Jesus? Yeah, lots of people did. Right now, this is 2.5 hours long. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to finish this whole video tonight. Yeah, sure. There's a link in my Discord if you want to jump in the waiting room. I'll pull you in. Dang, you guys already filled up that philosophy channel. Dang, let's go. Yes, they're talking about torturing people publicly. And now they're well, instead of torturing people publicly, they decided to do the same thing, but out of sight. It's this isn't the same kind of torture, dude. This isn't that kind of torture. If you want to call it torture, I'll agree to some extent. But this is not that kind of torture.
Because both were enacted for the same reasons.
And that's the complex thing about so-called cancel culture or the woke mob or whatever the other bullshit the right tries to say. It's not real, but it kind of is.
I've always wanted to do a video on cancel culture because I feel like most people misunderstand canceling and they say some crazy things about it. So I've always wanted to do a video on cancel culture. I might include it in my next video to some extent, but because I talk a lot about stigmatizing behavior and destigmatizing behavior. And so I think I've always talked about canceling people, and to some extent it is a good thing. But I agree with what she was saying, where you can take it too far to where people are going to turn on you instead. And I think that that's what we're talking about, is when you take it too far, then it becomes an issue. I don't think canceling overall is a problem. Jack decided to insinuate philosophy has a systemic issue with pedophilia. It's not, what the heck? Never liked Foucault, but I think we can interpret his ideas without it leading to his poor actions. Yo.
Hey, you want to do hey, oh, I hear myself double. Video?
Yeah, are you able to are you in my server?
Yes. Yes.
If you'll join my waiting room, I have like a thing set up for my stream where it connects and pulls up our like Discord thing so that it shows everybody who I'm talking to.
VC text. V waiting room.
Waiting room. There we go.
Yeah, the mic is not too good. Probably manageable. Should I do video on? My lighting may not be.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Wait,
you said you wanted my video, right?
Sorry, what?
You said you wanted my video?
No, I think it's like nice, I guess, to put my video on as well. I mean, probably looks a bit not so good, but.
So you don't want my video? You don't need it?
Oh, it's very. There we go, I guess. No, that's good. I think it's better if we see each other, but
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Right.
Okay. I recognize you. You were in my video.
I was?
Yes, you saw my Balenciaga video, yeah?
No, I mean in the vault.
No, I have a Balenciaga video essay.
Oh, wow.
Bro, hold on. I got to pull this up. I got to show you this. Before we do this, I have to show you in my video essay. Hold on.
Okay. That's right.
You're gonna get a kick out of it.
I'm also on the stream. That's funny. Okay, yeah, I'll listen to you.
Hold on.
Okay, so I have to play your stream now. So I'll mute you.
It's gonna take me just a second to pull this up. Let's see. Yeah, this is like most everybody's favorite part. I'm surprised you didn't watch my video essay at all.
Oh. I thought I muted you, but I muted myself.
You hit the headphones.
Like I hear you double, but it's manageable. I have to watch. So how do I
Here,
mute you?
I'll pull it up for you right here. You don't have to pull up the stream. Just hang out right here. I'm gonna pull it up, and then you can watch it here. Okay.
All right.
And for that, I will allow my buddy Hunter Avalone to explain.
Drag does not typically involve nudity or stripping, which are more common in burlesque, a separate form of entertainment. Explicitly sexual and profane language is common in performances meant for adult audiences. So no.
That's you, no?
Yes.
That is you.
Yes, I think I did see this. Yes. I think you did a part on it. That's funny. Oh, I hear myself double again. Okay. I'll just hear you now, not think yes. Yes, thanks, I guess.
As soon as I saw you, I was like, wait a second. I know you.
So
That's
where are
funny.
my royalties? Oh, just
Yeah. Yeah, that was everybody's favorite part of the whole video, dude. That part got clipped and put on Twitter a couple of times.
okay. Yeah, I saw you were followed on Twitter, like Sean had. That was cool. Oh, um, yeah, no, I think your story was very interesting because you're like you apparently I think were not in prison. Maybe that's what we just saw in the video.
Yeah, I was
But
in
maybe
prison.
okay. Yeah, so and you got out of it by like telling the truth, I think. That was like a big part of it. I heard.
I'm not sure what part you're talking about.
You said like you were addicted to heroin.
hmm
And then, that's like a world where people just lie and scam all the time. And it's
Oh,
like
yes, eventually I had to like change my life to like get better at telling the truth. I was a very dishonest person for a really long time. And I was like a con man before I went to jail. And there were a bunch of different like cons that I like to pull. And I mostly had to like do it to people that I would like get close to over time to con them and then steal all their stuff. And lying just in those communities in general is like the norm. Like you all lie to each other and you're all trying to get over on each other nonstop. And same in prison and just in like communities where you're drug dealing and or doing drugs. Like everybody kind of lies to each other constantly. And we I definitely had, when I got out, I had to go through like a hardcore dramatic change of personality and change who I was and my reflexes to things because I was just lying naturally and just without even noticing I would lie, without even planning on lying, I would lie. And so I had to really change the way that I was engaging with people and change like I had to really change my entire mind frame on how I interacted with people. So yeah.
yes, that's fascinating. These days I'm like kind of interested in talking about how people also can use like spirituality to like kind of justify kind of lying or dishonest behavior. Like
Mm-hmm.
like there's so many spiritual like theories or phrases and there's like a grain of truth to them, you could say. Like um how like they say like life is an illusion, right? But like
Life is an illusion.
yes, that like in like eastern philosophy kind of phrases. But like that's like I don't think that's really true. I don't think that's really true. Like yeah, in deep meditation you can have like no world, so they say that that's like more real than the world. But then people can also say like, oh yeah, it's all just an illusion, so it doesn't matter if I lie. And they kind of mix up those two.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what did you hear that made you want to talk to me about my past?
Oh, just really that. And I mean,
From
there's so
that
many.
video?
I don't know. That's what I remember. It's like you were stuck in that kind of heroin junkie world, you could say, and you got out of it by just learning to be honest.
Yeah, kind of. I wouldn't really say that I got out of it that way. It was more so it was like a part of recovery is like learning how to engage in society again in a normal way and being like a productive member of society. Like one of the parts of the process um is to yeah, just stop lying and learn how to engage with people like a normal person.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to even praise ourselves, right? Or like say, yeah, I'm a very good person. I never lie, but it can be kind of true. I mean, it's hard to say in an sort of absolute sense. I mean, I don't honestly, I didn't hang out with people that much. I was just so alone. So it's like you don't. If when you're alone, it's like when you have like all small interactions, you can say small lies or something like that. Things that
Mhm.
are like irrelevant. But like, I think you can do it. Like, yeah, I think you can do it. Like, just be very, very honest. Like, and also, I think I don't I don't like parts of like the Mr. Girl thing. Just the weirdness of it all. But if something is really good at, it's just being being really honest.
Mhm. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. But he got into weird shit also. Like obviously that's part of the theater, but I don't even think what he did uh was going in an immoral direction. But if we're talking about inappropriate internet stuff, I guess maybe this isn't even that immoral because it may reduce the kind of harm that's being done online. But he would like say, I got the new Stable Diffusion program, and I'm going to make you the best pizza you've ever had. Now if that is some weird shit. That's some weird shit.
What is stable diffusion?
It's like the AI thing. He's getting into AI porn,
It's
basically.
going into AI what?
AI porn.
Oh.
Like he was making those kind of pictures. But that's
Hmm.
like that is some dark. I don't know why that is a thing in this world, but apparently it sometimes happens. So it's so weird. It's wrong.
You're cutting in and out a bit.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it's a shitty subject as well, but I don't know. I guess it goes there in the internet kind of destiny weird. It, they often talk about that stuff. I guess it's just one of those taboo things people want to talk about.
I'm sorry. They all talk about what? AI porn?
I no, you know, yeah, yeah. Well, also the whole child porn
Oh yeah.
uh, ethical question. For some reason, that is brought up. But actually, even here in Holland, we have had a pretty big recent story. You probably haven't heard because Holland's very tiny. But kind of friend of mine. I don't know if you're interested. Kind of friend of mine. He's not. I just know him from Twitter. He's just a cool, interesting guy. He wrote an article on this writer that we have in Holland, and he's like, and he found out some pretty controversial stuff about the guy. Like he was before he got into writing child books, he was like a kind of gay guy, and he went to like clubs in Germany and shit like that. He would write about it, like dark rooms, anal shit, and like poppers, and just nasty stuff. And he would say, "Yeah, like a kind of young, kind of inappropriate shit." And then he started writing child books, but also really weird shit. Like I don't know, that's a thing that conservatives really hate. Also here in Holland, the normalization of like trying to put that weird shit in a child. So he had like 4 years old, and then they make about how a fucking uh, just like an animal is actually kind of like a different kind of animal. It's like the whole trans thing. They want to put that into the school books, and people are getting pissed off at it.
Hmm.
It's just I think that's true. I think that you shouldn't when it makes that and that we have sex on a way too high pedestal. It's like you can just meditate, just be nice, kind of normal conservative values. And it's also fucking weird these days with all that kind of nutty shit.
Yeah, I think that there's a I think that there should be spaces where we're able to have these conversations, just not like uber public places. So we talk about a lot of these things here as well.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. I can
and
imagine this sounding very offensive to like trans people, but I guess there can be very rare cases. But I don't know. Just my honest view. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
in a kind of spiritual way, also you could say that's all like kind of perfect because, well, that's just their body and what they want to do with it, and then also, Eastern philosophy has that, you're like also like consciousness, like light and empty space, and that part, at least in meditation, never gets like messed up. It's like always good.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not
Yes,
sure.
that's what I that's my background. I had a Eastern philosophy, did that a lot, and like meditated a lot, and it is, I would say, underrated. I would say it is, but
Okay.
yes, I would just say it's like consciously deep sleep. You could kind of compare it to, but I guess yes, in our culture, it's a bit strange. It's still on the fringe. Like in Asia, it's just kind of more normal, I guess. That's just the way it is. I think that's just wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're cutting in and out a lot.
Oh, really?
I think part of it is your audio as well.
Mm,
You'll
mm.
probably need to turn down um,
Oh, I
your
see. It's like cutting the internet, maybe. I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I didn't read the chat. Yeah, that this is it's all a bit incoherent, I guess, for a conversation. Oh, that's fine. I'll go back to. So yeah, that was basically the interest that I had. It's like, I don't know. I just found that very inspiring. That just telling the truth. It's just, I guess that must have been like an awesome kind of transformation. But you know, I don't know.
It takes a lot. So one of the things is it's not just about like, oh, I'm just going to decide to be a good person now. Like, you actually have to change all of your reflexes. And it's not enough to just like decide, I don't want to lie anymore when you do it so naturally for so long. And I'm talking like, 4 or 5 years, you're learning behaviors that don't fit with society and don't mesh well with keeping friends and family and having relationships, at least not healthy ones. So you have to change not just what your intent is and what it is that you want to do, but you also have to change your habits. You have to change how you interact with others automatically. What is the automatic thing that I think of doing? So when you ask a question, I could automatically go off on this other bullcrap story that has no attachment to reality and just start doing it automatically. And I would realize all the time, like, as I'm like in the middle of lying, and I've already told like 5 or 6 lies at this point down this like, line of this weird story that I'm making up as I'm going, I would realize like 5 or 6 lies down that I'm lying. That's when I would be like, oh crap, why am I doing this? There's not even a benefit to this. There's no goal to lying right now. I'm just doing it for the hell of it. So I had to change not just my intent or what it is that I wanted to do, but I had to change my reflexes and retrain my brain ahead of time to not do it when the time came. And then once I learned to do that, I actually completely just did like an overhaul of my entire personality. Once I learned to change my reflexes to things, I decided, you know what? I could probably change my reflexes in a ton of other areas to be just a different type of person, a type of person that I would respect and that I would want to be, and have the type of personality traits that I think I would hope to emulate. And so, yeah, I would like just start picking and choosing personality traits and then changing my automatic reactions to things and my automatic reflex to people doing things, and go over scenarios over and over in my head and think my way through things and really just train my brain to react differently to everything.
Yeah, and now you're getting more attention, maybe, and it's all recorded, so it could be very hard, I guess, to lie a lot because people can just go over the big, like you said it, then there, and then there. It
I
doesn't
don't know
matter
that
so
it
much.
matters much. I mean, I can I can call people out on their lies over and over in this space, and it doesn't seem to make much of a difference to their audiences. Their audiences don't seem to care. So I'm sure I could have built a following by lying. I probably would have had a much bigger
Well,
following if I was willing to lie.
I guess yes. That's also, I guess, something that I noticed with the fasting a little bit. But I mean, it does matter. I would say it does matter, but it's kind of true. They have such a big momentum of people that are just gonna like the videos and watch it. It doesn't matter. But I mean, it does matter in the greater sense that if they want to talk to someone else that's maybe big, they're going to do research and they may see your piece, be like, well, he's not that honest, or this is kind of messed up. But
I don't
yeah,
know. I think for the most part, we choose our beliefs based on the community that we want to be a part of. And I say this all the time. Normally, when I used to talk about rhetoric all the time, and I was breaking down rhetoric, it was a thing that I repeated all the time. We choose our beliefs based on the community that we want to be a part of. So this is why, like, you can look at like the South and see very like hard concentrated Republican areas, and then you can look at the East and see very hard concentrated Democrat areas, and like it's people growing up where everybody around them believes a specific thing, and then that just is what you believe, and you not only just believe that thing, but you start to virtue signal those ideas to everybody else to let them know I'm one of the good ones, I'm part of the group, I'm with you guys, we have similar ideas, and it gives us a connection between one another. So yeah, it's not like you actually.
it's cultic.
I forgot what it is that you said that I'm responding to now, because I know that I started saying that for a reason, and now I'm totally lost on where I was going with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would call it cultic, but we call that, I guess, fosh things.
You call
But
it what?
it's just fosh. We call that kind of fosh, right? Well, I mean, I don't have much view, but I did a piece on him.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, okay, that's right. I think that these groups are actually like about people wanting to belong to a group more than anything else, more than telling the truth, more than like finding an end goal, or more than like wanting some sort of like outcome from their politics or anything like that. I think that more so than anything, it's just people who want to be part of a group and who are just saying the things that they want to say to be part of that group. And then in the end, if I'm criticizing the leader of that group, somebody like Demon Mama, right? If I'm criticizing Demon Mama, her followers are never going to agree with those criticisms, not because they think I'm wrong, not because they're, because they have a different worldview or anything like that. It's just because liking Demon Mama is what gives them all that commonality. It's what makes them part of the community, is just liking Demon Mama and agreeing with whatever Demon Mama says. That's what makes them part of the in-group. And so it's like a useless battle to go and try criticizing those people when their communities aren't built on like trying to find the truth. It's instead built on like, we all just like this person and we want to be part of a community.
Yes, and I would say that in real life, I mean, it's becoming, I guess, bigger, but internet communities, the internet is so kind of fake in a way. It's like, you could even say in a positive way, maybe you even say it's a kind of practice mode.
It's what?
It's like a kind of practice mode, even. So, like,
yeah, I think you need to turn up your or turn down your sensitivity on your mic on Discord.
Okay, I'll keep it in mind. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything to add, but I guess it resembles cults also in a way. These, it's also like, I mean, I appreciate what you put. You know, in the cult, there's always a guy in the middle, and everyone sits around them, and he's the obvious head of the whole thing. And it's just, I guess that's online. It's just it gets gears more that way, I guess, easier. But it's also not that real. I mean, you can have real life cults. I guess that's more intense. And
A lot of them are very cultish, yes. Yeah. Especially like, yeah, I feel like a lot of the farther left leaning groups and the farther right leaning groups, these are people who already have beliefs that are very demonized in the first place. And so they're,
yes, that's. Mhm. Yeah, no, I mean, if with that name, I don't know what you're gonna expect. That's just retarded. But uh, one thing that I thought of was like we have like kind of physical safety that we want to have, and that's
Mhm.
kind of natural, I guess. Just to have also harmony in the room, but then also so that creates like a kind of identity form of it. But then also you have like the mental identity of the having the same beliefs and stuff like that. And I agree. I think what you said is like people they don't want to be alone, or they really want to be part of a group. I guess that's a positive way of saying it. Not wanting to be alone is kind of a way of saying. But I don't know. I was so used to being alone because of my kind of path or interest in Eastern philosophy that is so normal that it's quite. I guess. I mean, it's just nice, but I guess it's quite easy to just be more independent, I guess.
yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, I think most people want to be part of a community. It's not,
Yes, that's good. That's good.
yeah, I
And
don't
you
think
could,
it's as much about like not wanting to be alone as much as it is like you do want to be part of a community. Like you can be not alone and still not be part of a community. Like you want to belong. You don't just want to feel like you're around other people, but you want to feel like you belong to those other people. You want some commonality with them. You want some identity with them. And you'll normally take pride in whatever that identity is. Lots of people, like I was talking about this with my sister the other night, that in these communities, calling these people nerds is normally it's something that they take pride in. Like it's something that they really like about themselves is that they're all nerds and they all read comic books and they watch anime and and play Final Fantasy and stuff like that. And they all take a lot of pride in those things because those are important to their identities as people and important to their communities.
yeah, and I think it's fine to be a kind of nerd, but I do think it's interesting that we take kind of pride in those kind of characteristics, because I guess you could say back in the day when you were having a community, you would take pride in like the actual work you would do, I guess. But if as humans don't have to take work anymore, or don't have to do so much, it gets kind of weirder, I guess. But it's fine.
What do you mean? Are we working less? What do you mean?
I guess they also work in that field, but uh, that was just something that came. I don't.
Hmm.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, working less, or I guess in the back in the old day, you would take pride in the physical labor you would do, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I guess it's fine if you do art and nerdy stuff. That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, wanting to be alone. I don't know. I guess it has a negative connotation, maybe. I mean, you
It's
also
not
can't.
even the negative connotation because it's not only that people don't want to be alone, but there's more to than just being around other people and being with other people. It's the it's like I said, like it's the self identity that you have with others. It's the commonalities that you have with one another. It's the communion that you have between each other that
Mm,
that gives you that sense of community with people. And it's actually really healthy for societies to have those, which is why as we get less and less religious, we see less and less people engaging out in public because um, we're losing a lot of those ways that we gathered in communion with each other before.
Yes, I would still say that's very important though in a way, but like, yes, there's wisdom among, everywhere, where wherever there's some common sense, there's gonna be some wisdom. But the church and religion do, like, it's like the first book also. It's very kind of weird, interesting in a way that like one book we deem so high, but it also has so many like really fundamental, well, truths. I mean, even if you take away all the spiritual stuff, like, love thy neighbor. But I would argue for spiritual stuff too, but I guess people have maybe. What I don't like so much as someone who has studied Eastern philosophy and did meditation is how maybe you could say pop spirituality is all about being all about weird and special stuff. So you go read your aura, then you have a dream about whatever stupid planet they think of. I don't know. It's like and you write a book with the most fantastical shit, and people think that then somehow that is better or good, and then normal society. That's right. But that all makes no sense. If you like that kind of stuff, that's fine. But like actual meditation, which doesn't require work, but it does require, as also you say, you change your structure. It has nothing to do with that. In fact, it it just has nothing to do with that. It's just its own dimension. Like you have like the dimension of peace, of like silence, is like its own dimension. It has just nothing to do with anything. Basically, this is why it's hard to talk about. But it has nothing to do with chakra. It has nothing to do with any theory whatsoever. And I don't know why I want. That and that's where where you can feel really good, or not maybe not even feel good, because like it's hard to talk about, like if you feel, yeah, it does, it has to do with feeling good, but also just peace or whatever. But that is like its own this, yeah, it's like that's where you are also alone. But I remember when I was on Psychonaut, the subreddit 10 years ago, it was very interesting. It was like you had people take drugs, and then they take like they would spew their theories, I guess you could say, or write them. And it would something that would terrify me is when I would read things about like ego death or samadhi or kind of enlightenment, what I was looking for, that it would be like alone, like I was God and I was only alone, and I felt so alone. That would terrify me. But then as I got like actual practicing meditation, it's it's very similar to deep sleep. It has like the, that idea of being alone is just something that is like, I guess it's fundamental, but it's, I mean, when you go to sleep and you enjoy being in the bed alone, you just like that peace. You don't need anything else, and it's not alone. You just feel good, basically. You just feel peace. You get peace. So, and then the world, you're also never alone. So that it just doesn't make sense, but we can still feel it somehow by basically, it's usually self-worth, like low shame and all that it's usually that, but that we define as alone, right? All feeling bad, and then like being only thinking and not like actually like meditating, and then that's how we define alone. But alone, yeah, it has no, that's just yeah, that's, I don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah, I talked to somebody about this the other day, but like during that process of me like trying to retrain my brain and everything, I had always had, like, from the age of like I think like third or fourth grade, I had a girlfriend the whole way through after high school, where it was somebody that I was talking to every night on the phone. um I always had like groups of friends that I was hanging out with constantly. I came from a big family. I'm one of five children.
Mm.
And so I was always around people. In jail and in prison, you're normally around 60 to 100 people at a time, all day, every day. And then during this process, like I really just kind of isolated myself from everybody else and learned to actually like enjoy being by myself for like the first time in my entire life. I was like 22, I think at the time, 21 or 22. And yeah, I just finally enjoyed being alone and enjoyed being by myself. Um, and yeah, I think it's something that like I had to get used to, because normally before that, anytime I was always looking for something to do. And anytime somebody called me and said, "Hey, we're going to do this, let's go," I was always ready to go. It didn't matter what it was. Like I'd rather be doing something than nothing. But at this point, yeah, I learned to actually enjoy just doing nothing, and I've never like gone back to always looking for other people to enjoy, or like, I've never gone back to needing other people's company. I've since then just really enjoyed being by myself.
Yeah, yeah, and you can't really escape it either. Like you need during the day or whatever, you need to have something that you can't escape anyone in some sense. Right? Well, I guess you could, but yeah, you have to have like what you said, like community is healthy and that kind of stuff. That's all good. I guess you could say at night when at least at night you could like what I like meditation. Like one of the easy ways still for me is just to say like God, like just gonna pray. That just helps the meditation. So even though that I don't really even believe in a God somewhere, it's just the force of good basically. But that whole God story is, yeah, it's you do see it as like it's a story. Yeah, it's a story.
Yeah.
There's truth to it, but only in the sort of abstract way of goodness, love. You can't have a person somewhere that's always better than you. It's just nonsense.
I think it's part of like human evolution and being social
Yeah,
animals.
yeah. It is part of human evolution. Right? Yeah, that is a fascinating thing. Like somehow the Bible came around. I guess. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I was trying to think of something. Oh, no, not really. I guess I would be kind of curious to be like how your meditation would, but that's just really, I don't know. That's personal and also hard to talk about.
I don't
Even the
really
whole,
meditate. I
whole uh, get out of it. Yeah, no, I mean, mm, well, that's fine too. I mean, that works too. Right? But I guess at night, that is a really interesting time to like practice a little bit, I guess. But it there's no sense of that makes you better or worse than me. Also, that doesn't make any sense. There should be none of that. That's actually that doesn't like also doesn't exist in meditation. Like all those, it's like yeah, thinking is beautiful and the world is like that's what you need to do to function. But in meditation, that is the biggest obstacle. It's always gonna be not always. It's like thinking, especially for Western people. I guess this is a weird thing to say maybe, but something that helped me out is that everything you think is also not any kind of absolute truth. It's like I guess that's interesting also how we can be deluded as humans if we think that our thoughts are like um yeah the kind of the reality or yeah uh, are very important, but it's never about thoughts. You may write something nice, say something nice, do better with thinking, but as a tool to get peace, it's the worst. Yeah, that's very interesting because in the West, it's like we always learn. No, it's about thinking, but yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I don't really meditate, so I don't know.
yeah, that's interesting. I would wonder like what would that mean? I guess
You would wonder what?
what would that mean? What would it
What
what would it mean if you never yeah. How could you never not meditate?
I mean, like, I don't sit to uh like internalize things, or like I don't take time to like um just sit and focus on my thoughts or anything. It's
You
like
never do that? I don't believe.
when I'm driving, sometimes
Yeah.
if I don't have the radio on, like I'm sitting there thinking, and
Yeah.
there are times where I'll sit and formalize thoughts with like logical ways of running through them and stuff like that, but I don't sit in like the quiet just to sit in the quiet. And I don't do that, no.
That's interesting. And how do you fall asleep?
Watching TV.
That's nice. Me too, sometimes. That's interesting. But like, oh, okay. So, like I don't have it so much anymore. Back in my really meditate a lot of times, and I'm not saying that's better or worse. I don't necessarily miss it, but it was a nice time. Uh, I would be more conscious of like even deep sleep. Uh, and that's it sounds maybe impossible, but that first opened a little bit on like some drugs. Well, not even the price that just 5 MeO DMT a little bit. I don't like to talk about that so much because it's like kind of sensitive information if you say that you've done drugs. But I experimented a little bit with it. But yeah, and then I kind of sometimes learned that you can remain awake when you go into deep sleep in a way. That's actually like ego death. That's actually kind of natural ego death, which was just yeah very nice. But nothing happens. It's just very peaceful. And then you can have like more conscious dreams sometimes. But so yeah, I guess it's interesting because we all experience to some degree the sense of deep sleep. And I don't even these days so much. It's like more normal, I guess again. But yeah, deep meditation is just it's just nice when it happens well. It's just like very nice. And I guess like your life has like oh it has the like niceness of always like very social. But I guess like the what I was thinking of like it could make you vulnerable if you have not so much introspection or that time uh when it's like to really feel deep things over or think things over kind of deeply maybe with not the wrong people but if you get into like a kind of a thing with people it's like easy to get dragged along maybe a little bit because that's just the nature of things I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Like, on my show, most of it is me just sitting by myself talking in front of a camera, not actually with people. And so most
Mhm.
of this is me like actually thinking through things. And
Yeah.
sometimes even today, numerous times I'm explaining that like, yeah, I don't really have like a formalized take on this. This is just my thought process. This is how I'm thinking through this, and just kind of saying my thoughts out loud, and how the process that I'm going through to try to come to a conclusion on things. So I'm still doing those things, and yeah, I still do those things.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I
Right.
like I read books a lot, but I've got like extreme ADHD, and I will just zone off into like long thoughts about different things. And it's the same when I'm watching TV or whatever. I'm just saying, yeah, I don't specify time to just sit and think. I will, unless I'm like, yeah, trying to like formalize some sort of idea or argument on something.
I think it's cool. I think also, yeah, that you doc. It's like it also builds a kind of. It's a beautiful documentation. Also, if you get into some sort of trouble, sometimes it's like no, like you can see, um, this is me, and people can like, no, oh yeah, this is kind of who he is, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, eh, that's what something I think is very cool about recording things or record. It's like you can't lie, like it, or you can easily catch a lie if it's about those kinds of things.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think it should be like very legal to kind of do that, to like record people and stuff like that. But, yeah, but I don't know. There are all kinds of systems, I guess. Even emotional laws or karmic laws, where if you just lie too much, at some point you want to have to admit, no, I'm actually it actually does hurt a lot, and I actually don't want to lie that much. I guess something like that. So there's all kinds of systems that do work.
Mhm.
So it's very cool to be like on the good side. I would argue, like, or at least trying to be on the good side with the truth thing and stuff. That's just very cool. I like that, because I guess you could sometimes we think like, oh yeah, I can be like, nah, lying never sounds cool actually. It's just not the way it is. I guess to be like a kind of cool guy that lies, but no, it's just it also doesn't feel good. It doesn't help with meditation. It just fucked everything. So at the end of the day, I just want to feel good and be peaceful. So there's no room to like lie. It's not worth my time.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on like what your it depends on like the community that you're in and
Mm.
what it
Yes, I
is.
guess they have to get out of that. It's just retarded, right? But it is what it is. I mean, they want to be in a weird community. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like the truth is really beautiful in a way.
I mean, I don't know that it has any sort of like inherent value to it.
The
It
truth?
yeah,
No, I would say the truth is like harmony.
the truth is what?
Harmony.
The truth is harmony.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, if people are honest, then there's basically harmony.
Can't there be harmony without people being honest?
In a sketchy kind of way, in a kind of crazy kind of way, I guess, but not really, not that much.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that that's true.
You have more experience with me than that, so
yeah, I mean, well, so I'm thinking back to like, yeah, like I think that there's lots of times where you can be better off with lies. I was talking about this earlier. I left religion recently, and I said afterwards that I don't know that I'm actually better off for leaving religion. I don't know that I gained anything from leaving. And even if I think that I'm right, and now that I know that there is no God and I don't believe in a God, I don't know that I'm better off for it. It's there's no difference. I don't think there's much of a different outcome for me after knowing a truth that I didn't know before. Like it, yeah, I don't know that it actually changed anything. And if anything, it could make things worse for a lot of people. Believing in a God and then turning around, not believing in the God, not going to church anymore, not having that communion, not having that spirituality, even if it is fake, even if it was all a lie, they might have been a lot better off believing in it.
Yes, I think it's very interesting what you said, because like there is the great truth that like goodness is like the thing in life, like truth, or like love, like just goodness, that's like very, very, very important. That's like what life's all about. I don't want to sound like I'm like a perfect person or whatever, or like, but that's why I like truth. I mean, do good thing, but just to practice being honest, that's a kind of that's good enough, I would
Yeah,
say.
I think it's going to have some personal value to it. Like you, like I think people have to take a personal value in the truth in order for it to matter. But that's why I'm saying I don't know that it has any sort of like objective value to it. I think it'll only have some like sentimental value to individuals.
No. But well, harmony is the reality. There's no doubt about that. But like,
But I'm
that's
giving you examples of where you could be more harmonious without the truth.
yes. That's also the very interesting thing, that if you believe that there's a guy somewhere up in the sky, or like eternal hell, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, just if you look at life, there's gonna be ups and downs. So there's no gonna be like in manifestation or like life. It's not gonna be. Uh, there's no absolute in life. Like any sensation you have is gonna be temporary. So the whole idea that it just doesn't make any sense.
Of
It is
religion?
well, yeah. I mean, it literally is imagining things. If you believe that you're gonna be in hell forever, that's just literally something you just think of. No, it's just
How do you know that though? You don't know that.
well, of course. If I think, oh, I'm gonna be in hell forever, that
Mhm.
is literally a thought. But that is very like it sounds so simple. That is simple, but that's something. If we're gonna talk about that restructuring, that's something I really had to learn. Also, my background wasn't always that great, but that if you want to be sane, you have to literally know that. Just that's also something they say in Buddhism. Just practice seeing things how they. If there's a thought, it's a thought. It's not reality.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with like burning in hell for eternity? Like, how do you, I'm not understanding.
Well,
How do
that's a
you know?
pretty big lie. I mean, if you're gonna burn in hell
Mhm.
for eternity, it just you can have a sensation that feels not good, can last some time, but that is a sensation. So in Buddhism, also they would say the sensation is not self, so it is a sensation. So that's
Mhm.
already a kind of liberating part. Then it's impermanent, so it it is impermanent. A sensation, they last, they come, they go. Oh. And lastly, they say that the last characteristic is it's not it's not like satisfying. It's not ultimately satisfying. These sensations are nice, not nice, but basically saying there is no ultimate in life. So just try not to seek it there, I guess. And
I'm still
basically,
not understanding what this has to do with burning in hell for eternity. I
both are lie. Both, this is a lie.
How do you know that though? You're just saying it's a lie and then explaining
How
how you don't
this is so
believe in it. But
interesting.
I'm asking, how do you know that? Why are you saying that it's a lie?
This is so fascinating because it's so obvious, but apparently conditioning, right? Like somehow in our culture, even if you're not Christian, it's there. Like it's imprinted on you, I guess. That it's like a big idea, even if you were a kid or whatever. I also have to piss soon, so I have to end it at some point. But it's nice. I like it. But it is yeah, I just told you, like sensation is
That
not.
that's not answering my question. My question, you're saying we're talking about truth right now, okay? You're saying it is a lie. I'm saying where does that knowledge come from that it is a lie? How do you have the knowledge that hell is not a place where you could burn for eternity?
Where? How do you not? It's very simple. Just sensation is impermanent.
That doesn't mean anything. You're just that you're talking about the fact that you can die and that nothing is permanent in life. But hell is not life. Hell is afterlife. Hell is not life.
Oh,
So
so you do believe in hell?
I didn't say that. You're the one calling it a lie. I'm asking how you know it is a lie. We're not
Because,
talking.
my friend, you're in reality right now, right?
Mhm.
This is, and there isn't really gonna be any other reality. You can have a dream that's nice or not so
Okay,
nice.
so how do you know there's not another reality?
No, I just say there is. You can have a dream,
Mhm.
that is nice or not so nice.
Right.
But is the good dream gonna be permanent?
Well, that has nothing to do with whether or not there's an afterlife.
For me, it's exactly the same.
Why?
Well, what I said about the deep sleep part.
Uh-huh.
So, in a way, you could say even that kind of may even resemble kind of death, but maybe in a kind of minor way. Because in deep sleep, you basically disappear, and there's just peace or nothing. Feels good, actually. It's like in Buddhist can call it nirvana, but it can be very like you feel just and it's just there, or it can just be like nice peace. But peace is always nice. It's never not. Anyways, you can say that that is like when you kind of die.
You have to know you're not answering my question, right?
Oh, why do you? What?
You are abstracting it to some small aspect of it and then explaining the small aspect that doesn't have to do with what is reality. You're saying, well, here's an aspect of it that I don't think would be the same. And I'm saying, okay, that one aspect might not be the same. But we're talking about on a truth level, how would we know? Because I'm not willing to make a statement that hell is not real. I'm also not saying that I believe in it, but I'm not going to say that it's a lie or that it's not real. There's no way I could have that knowledge. But you are saying you have the knowledge that hell is not real, and I'm asking how you know that.
Yes, because I've been through it so many times. When you go deep sleep, you can either have a heavenly dream or a hellish dream. Last night, my dream was not so nice, but it was not lasting that long.
So you think that your dream last night was burning in hell for eternity. You think that's what it was?
You have somehow the fundamental idea is imprinted deeply in you that it's somehow real or not real. But you have to examine it. You say burning. Okay, what is burning? Right?
Okay.
Some body part, a cell burn, painful sensation.
Right.
Well, okay. First of all, it's not really you because it comes and goes.
What does that mean?
Well, then there's a fundamental, not an identity, but in samadhi and deep meditation, there is no body basically. There can be a slight sense of body. It's like becoming air. It's like just like when you go to sleep, sort of.
Right, but they're talking about your spirit having a body. So not your body on earth, but your spirit having a body and your spirit having the ability to feel sensation.
Yes, this is just another religious conception, basically.
Right. I'm aware.
Because what I would call spirit is like deep meditation, because it feels like it doesn't even feel. You can have weird experiences that are like spiritual, but I don't even care so much about that. I just like the peace part. But then, the dreams are kind of spiritual in a way.
Yeah.
But they don't last so long or forever. Okay. I think I know.
I'm not getting it. It's like.
You get it?
No, I'm not getting it. It's like you saying like how long is your stream gonna last today? And I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm not gonna turn off my stream. My stream's gonna last forever. And you being like, well, dreams don't last forever. I'm like, so what? I don't care. That's not what we're talking about right now. Why are you telling me about dreams when I'm asking you about hell?
I know why it doesn't register that well. The sense, the knowingness of deep meditation is not so strong. So you can feel maybe as if your life is going on forever.
No, I'm not talking about life though. I'm talking about an afterlife.
Yes, but this is nonsense religious talk.
But that's what I'm saying is you keep saying that, but when I ask you why, you don't answer me. You talk about something completely irrelevant to what I'm asking you. You keep saying it's nonsense talk and that we all know it's nonsense. But then when I ask you how we know it's nonsense, you don't tell me how you know it's nonsense. You tell me something completely different, and I want to know how it's nonsense.
Yes, okay. Well, I'm not sure if I can convince you because this may be a third, fourth time. But I'm saying, I guess you have to then, I guess, kind of find out. And I like mantra, like saying God, and then that helps me with meditation. You have to do that. You can be fully diligent trying to be, like meditate on nothingness and etc. Like this is what they call like spiritual
Mhm.
practice, and you can find out, what is happening, I still like the mantra. I cannot not recommend it. It's just, I guess it has a lot of religious baggage. Like people, when I speak well, people may think, oh, he's like kind of God or something. This is just nonsense. I'm just a guy, just a human guy, but with a little bit more meditation experience. Yeah, I'm not a god. So like I'm just part. Like you can say life is divine, life is godly. That's fine, but people, this religious idea of this guy is special or whatever, doesn't have to be, it's Jesus, whatever. I don't subscribe to that. Uh, it just doesn't make any no sense,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
don't
kind of
either. But
irrelevant too.
kind of the point is like, okay, so say somebody created us, and uh and there was, they created Earth, they created all the things here, and they had these plans in mind, and they had all of this stuff that they put out, right? And then we, with our subjective minds and our human brains and our we use logic and we use formulas to figure things out, and we have all of these different weird things about us that are oddly human, and we use this to decide whether or not there is a god, when
Yeah,
we're so limited on
yeah,
how we can engage with our own brains. We couldn't know whether or not there is a God. We couldn't figure that out. We wouldn't have
yeah.
that ability, but a
It's
God would. And
no,
so
it's
the
absolutely.
only way we could find out is if a God told us that he existed. That's the only way we could possibly know. And so people believe that that is what the Bible is, and that is who
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus was, and that's what all of these other things are, because
Well,
that's the only possible way we could know a God existed, is if a God told us he existed. We
yes, but
can't use a logical formula to figure
wait,
out
wait.
whether or not God exists, because God doesn't use logical formulas. Logical formulas are
Yeah,
only human.
yes, yes, and you can never find it out. That's just maybe a hard thing, maybe to hear or shocking. I found it a little bit hard to
But that's what I'm
realize.
saying. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying, is we can't know one way or the other. And you're saying, no, I know. I know that there's no hell. I know that this is all ridiculous. I know that it doesn't exist. And I'm saying, I don't know. I couldn't know. I couldn't possibly know.
yes. So I guess it takes. I'm not sure how far I can get in this time, but it, you're right. You can never find out what this God thing is by thinking, and this is really kind of tragic, I guess, in the, Western civilization. Like Western civilization is amazing. It's great. It's wonderful. It's also not wonderful. Whatever. But you can never, ever, ever get into deep meditation very deeply if you're gonna try to keep figuring it out with your mind. It just doesn't work that way. Meditation is about peace. It's about nothingness. It's about feeling good by just love, not being nothing, just your own heart, like your own nothing. So never will you find a book, well, they're good books even that talk about this, and they're useful actually, but yes, I don't know what to say. This has to be practiced in meditation. Like this is what you do when you go to sleep. You focus on your inwardness, on your feeling, and you try to let go of your mind, basically. And it's not scary at all. It's what we all, some people do a lot. Like you don't always even right now, you say we're thinking a lot, yes, or a human part may be thinking, but even you can sense the deeper sense of peacefulness. There's nothing scary about it. It's not even mystical or I'm kind of curious what your chat has been saying, but this conversation is also interesting.
Yeah, I used to meditate when I was younger. I had the knee issues, and one of the things that I was taught was like how to control blood flow with your brain and control like heating different parts of your body up, and like numbing different parts of your body and stuff like that. And we would do all sorts of tests, and I became like extremely good at it very quickly, is like changing where blood flow went and changing different sensations in different parts of my body, making it to where like I literally couldn't see anything and my eyes would go black and all sorts of different things. And they like, so I'm not completely unaware of meditation, or you know, it's not I can't think it's not foreign to me in any way. It's just, yeah, I don't currently find any need for it or use in it.
Yes, I would say you haven't gone deep enough, but that also does it in a way. It has a kind of what I feel that has a kind of authority or hierarchy to it. If I say that, like, it sounds like that, right? Like, well, you haven't gone deep enough. It's like I haven't gone deep enough. Like, fuck, but and it also actually isn't even really true, because in that sense of meditation, it's very similar to deep sleep. There is no higher, there also is not really a world so much, a person so much. It's like when you just relax, just nothingness, but the nothingness intensifies, the relaxation intensifies, but it doesn't even intensify in the sense that you get stronger sensations. You- So yeah, I guess this is the part that is just hard to talk about. But I guess you can maybe follow me to some degree. You're not a donkey guy.
Yeah, I think that, like, what do you think that you get out of meditation? What value do you think you get from it?
Well, the obvious answer would be nothing, right? But that's the nice part. It's peace. It's a big break from life, but that also feels good, and it's
Yeah,
just something you can practice.
I agree with you. My issue lots of times when talking to people about meditation is that I think lots of people, so it's the same with like people who talk about spirituality and needing spirituality, and how it like it brings this like almost otherworldly ethereal kind of feeling that they get from spirituality. I feel like it's similar with meditation, where there's something that people get from it that's very helpful to them, that lots of other people just aren't even interested or care about, and they could get that out of it and be like, yeah, I don't care. I don't have any, this doesn't have any value to me. And and I think
Well,
that like was like peacefulness, like this is something that a lot of people seek out and that they look for and that they feel like they need in their lives. um
yeah, you
I
don't need it.
Yeah, I literally look for the opposite. I want
Well,
chaos.
yes, okay, sure. But at some point, the day ends. It's nice to get at least one round of sleep, so you can't really get away from it. But uh, I like what you said, like that this even has nothing to do with spirituality, and even this is something that even great meditation teachers could fall for in a sense. Is to, I don't know about that, but that every human has to be kind of careful. They're not getting they're not becoming too arrogant in some ways. So yes, uh, and there can also become a new culture. There can also come a whole culture about
I'm not saying
well,
that meditation is spiritual. I'm comparing to like what people get out of
yes, but
meditation to what
that's what
people
I
get out of spirituality.
yeah, that's what I heard of it. But there can be you can create these cultures out of, spiritual experiences or one special guy or we're all very chill and calm. It all Everyone has to be careful, I think, to if they want to succeed, like play the game of truth, try to be honest. Even with spiritual people or people who have a lot of meditation practice who look special, that can be very intimidating. Like I could probably dress up and kind of with my I don't know. You can probably use some of the peace you get, like the energy or inspiration, to create a kind of, intimidating kind of artificial sense of leadership. Or that's when things can maybe get kind of people can create kind of weird cults or stuff like that.
Mhm. I mean, I think you can do that with almost anything, though.
Well, it would require even I don't know. No, it would require some sort of weird determination. Um, that has to be based on some kind of skill, like either you're very smart or whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can do that on. Like I wouldn't want to call Destiny a cult, but Destiny, that definitely there's the sense of kind of pride there and how smart, and he is very smart.
Mhm.
But he sometimes I don't want to hate on Destiny, but I like him. I like his stream. He did block me on Twitter once, which I always thought was pathetic. But I like Dustin. I think he's very cool, and he is like on the. I mean, that's his thing. Is being very very smart, right? Speaking very well, being very smart. But that's not the only thing about it.
Well,
Well,
if
I
you
mean,
respond to his tweets in tautologies, then I'm sure, I'm sure he's gonna block you.
it was kind of funny. Sneeko said, if you watch, Sneeko said to Destiny, and I'm not too much on Twitter anyway, so I don't care. It's good that he whatever. Sneeko said to Destiny, you can't even watch one video of those reporters that kind of catch people with camera. They caught the Pfizer guy. That was a big story.
Mhm.
You
Project
can't even
Veritas.
Yes, you can't even watch one video of them without getting a strike. And next day or something like that, 2 days later, he watched the video of them and he tweets out, "Hey, I got a strike, YouTube. What is this?" Then I just quote tweet his tweet just without saying it under his tweet, and he was like, "Fuck you." This maybe he thought maybe this doesn't look good for YouTube, but then he kind of knew he maybe had a strike, which I can understand. That's intimidating. Anyways, he blocked me, so I thought it was funny.
I also got a strike for watching the video, but I tweeted at YouTube and they took the strike away. So
That's good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean the whole world. I do kind of trust the government, even though we may know of some things that go wrong and stuff. I think there's a whole lot of good that happens there, and maybe sometimes bad things. But in general, I think it's decent, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I trust in like the institutions that we have in place that seem to hold everybody in check.
Yeah, and I would say that there too. If the more it becomes an ideology, the less truthful, there can be. But in general, I think it's. In fact, I believe that everyone is trying to do the best and trying to do do good, and it actually is good. But some people are just twisted or get caught up in business. That's what I mean.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a nice way to end it on.
Cool,
I
man.
think it was. I think it was very good. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can upload it to my YouTube channel. It looks. I think I don't know. It's like unprofessional. I had like my main channel for like interviews, like the last one with a professor kind of guy, and then I have a second channel for like everything like fluff. But it is. I think it was a good conversation.
Yeah,
It
sure.
looks a bit unprofessional, and it is a bit weird the things we talked about. But I don't know. It was fascinating. So,
Yeah.
So maybe yeah. The VOD will stay. I think it will stay on my screen anyways. You can I think put it off, but maybe I can. Yeah.
Well, if you need stuff from my side, you can feel free to take it.
Thanks. And this is what I think is cool and I appreciate. It's like the transparency, recording things. It's just cool. I think it's just cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, man. Nice meeting you.
Yes. Nice. Have a good. Nah, it's still data, I guess, right? It's Oh no, evening.
It's 10:30 p.m. here, so.
Amazing. It's 4:30 here a.m. Well, that's fine.
All right. Later, bud.
Thank you. Bye.
Lots of tautologies. Lots and lots and lots of them. This dude has been streaming all day. It all kind of seems like the guy is streaming from a bath. Has he really been streaming all day? Like, for how long? Oh, snap. He's got a video on his channel.
Okay, so people are trying to frame Elisa Blue as if she's condoning hebephilia or maybe pedophilia, and this is not really true. So what happened here is that she had an hour-long conversation with Thaddeus Russell, and Thaddeus Russell was advocating for the idea that maybe the age of consent in the US should be lowered, and there should be looked at like Romeo and Juliet laws, because in their system, sometimes apparently it has happened that a 19-year-old would be with a 17-year-old. That person would be a registered sex offender, and then now up until they're 50, they still have an ankle band, and they're still not allowed to go near schools or see their own children. And it's like the system is not working correctly. That's what he argued. And he also argued that sometimes teenagers could be with adults, like 15-year-old with like older people, and I think that's like a kind of morally dangerous road to go on. But it's obviously not as bad as like actual, abuse, deliberate, total abuse, God forbid, alone to a child. So there obviously is a range there of different worlds that we shouldn't confuse with each other. And that's basically what he was trying to argue for. And then she was trying to steelman his position by saying that, okay, so you could argue that in an ideal utopia society, everyone would look at each other like maybe more back in the old days in villages. And then in some ways, a 13-year-old could maybe, or a 14 or 15-year-old could get with someone who's maybe 19 or 20. And then the society could keep an eye on that, and then it would be fine. That's basically what she argued for, that she's steelmanning his position because he thinks that those laws are too much, and if you even critique it a little bit, you're deemed as a pedophile and you should be thrown into the wood chipper, which is
Talking about
kind of
Eliza
what
Blue.
he's actually unironically proving the point that if you try to talk about it in a nuanced way, that people would just call you a pedophile and you should just get a death penalty, which, if someone's actually doing that kind of stuff, I may agree. But that's basically what happened. That's basically what happened. You can look at the whole thing. They deliberately leave out the context, and I think that
I could have sworn she said a 13-year-old. 2, I think people would still have an issue with a 16-year-old being with an adult most of the time. So I don't know that she's being framed. I think this is what most people thought she was saying. Because, yeah, we watched clips from her earlier from Blair White's video. Let's see. Let me pull it back up.
I don't know if for me to tell my story at length,
And do I feel that some minors are more equipped to engage in sexual activity with adults than others? Yes.
Eliza Blue, a child sex trafficking survivor. Now she's advocating for the many children being exploited for profit.
If the child so desires to have intercourse with an adult, that would be up to if the child has desire, and if the community also decides that the person that they're supposed to have intercourse with is not using force, fraud, coercion, manipulation.
Why don't you have a seat there and get comfortable from that?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
Okay, so she said the child. She used the word child, which is very stupid. Yeah, I play the same clip of the video. Also, the cutting one frame of her is not really genuine. Okay. Dude, Destiny's been putting on the drip lately, bro. All of the videos on Just Pearly Things, he has had some sick shirts on like every day. Except for this one. That one was not a great shirt.